Hello there. This is Anita Craig, founder of innerFLOW. And on today's call, we have one of our practitioners as part of the Practitioner introductory series, Dan. Dan is currently here in Johannesburg, South Africa, and we welcome you, Dan, onto the call.
Lovely to be with you, Anita.
Thanks, Dan. So I'd love to share to the listeners and watchers of the video today just a moment to introduce innerFLOW and a little bit then about the discussion for today with Dan as a practitioner. So innerFLOW was launched this year in 2020, and interestingly, at a time just before South Africa faced its lockdown. So the call to the innerFLOW practitioners was as a response to this planetary context and times in which we live, to be able to offer services online, virtually, to not just South Africans, but to global citizens who come across innerFLOW and are in need of these services at this time. innerFLOW is dedicated to helping the inner growth, development, transformation of individuals, one person at a time. And this really couldn't come at a better time on our planet, as we are encouraged, sometimes forced, to go inwards, to rediscover, redefine, repurpose our real meaning and reason for existence on this planet. So for some, it means reevaluation. For some, it means discovering. And for some, it means redefining their purpose and how they can actually start to become of better service to others and assisting others in the world at this time. So we're working with individuals because it all starts with the I, and then it shifts into the we of connection and making contribution. And the aim of our practitioners in our service is to help raise consciousness on the planet. And if you would like to tune up your vibrations, increase your levels of consciousness and resilience to participate more fully in your own life, we welcome you to this flow, to flowing with us here at innerFLOW, and to discover what each practitioner in turn has to offer you. So today's talk is with Dan. And the theme that we're going to be exploring with Dan today is developing a personal practice and balancing discipline and joy, a topic, and play, a topic that is very close to my heart. So really, Dan, first of all, tell us, what is a personal practice and what is the service that you are putting forward to offer people at this time that involves this cultivation of personal practice that involves both discipline and play?
Cool. I'm offering yoga and meditation, Kundalini Yoga and Meditation, and philosophical self-enquiry, guided. The two offerings and my practices. So to the theme of developing a personal practice, what you're speaking about with the global context, I think a big point for me and what I took from that is that there are experiences that people are coming toward, or there's, for example, a climate of the kind of fear that we have experienced. How each individual experiences this in a certain way, and sometimes there isn't a framework in someone's life to deal with the size of such an experience. There's nothing for it to fall back into, and there's no resources in the individual to cope and navigate a new environment. And part of that fear is the kind of uncertainty of what that environment is exactly, because it's changing rapidly. So the idea of, or the necessity of developing a personal practice is kind of in acknowledgement of this fact that we need to pull ourselves together and come towards ourselves, develop a sort of home base with ourselves so that we can not only navigate the world and avoid troubles, but do so successfully and in a way that is fulfilling and an enhancement of what is vital in life rather than a coping and a surviving.
So almost moving from surviving, I guess, to the other side of the spectrum, the journey to thriving. So tell us more about, you're putting forward your Kundalini Yoga and Meditation coaching and guided philosophical self-enquiry. Now, I know you're busy completing your master's in philosophy at the moment, and I'm sure this has been an interesting turn of year for you, having to leave university and move somewhere else, back to Johannesburg, and do your remote work that way. And I know that you're deeply entrenched in your own self-practice, but how would your services benefit somebody else at the moment? What is it that they can expect to receive? And in turn, what would be the signs that it's actually useful to them should they follow that path of Kundalini Yoga, meditation, or the philosophical self-enquiry coaching that you're able to help them with?
So what I'm offering, the kind of space and assistance that I'm offering is equivalent to a personal trainer in a gym context. It's just that the appeal is to someone who started, who's interested in a sort of process, developing their own practice, may not have started one, or someone who has started a practice and wants to deepen it or further it, and is looking for assistance and guidance in that regard. The difference between the two things that I'm offering, the Kundalini Yoga and Meditation on the one side and the self-enquiry on the other, is kind of the goals or the orientation. So someone who would be interested in guidance with the yoga and meditation would already have a sense of the kind of value or benefit that practice might have. So they're convinced in a sense that there's somewhere to get, and I can assist that process, and maybe we discover that we're wrong about the places that we think we need to go, but that's part of the process. On the philosophical side, it's a bit excuse me, it's a bit more open-ended. The approach is more investigative, a reflection, a repeated reflection on where we're at, who we are, the way that we relate with the world, the values that we hold, and then how that informs our engagement with things. So I think there'd be an influence of the one and the other because I'm the same person, but that is the basic distinction, I think.
Lovely, thank you, Dan. And I just love what you have framed as discipline and play. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? How you bring that into your service offering?
Cool. For me, the development of my own personal practice has been a kind of oscillation between the discipline and the play. So there have been times where I've needed to just quiet down, listen and listen to an authoritative figure and do what I'm told to do. And having the discipline to do that and stick to suggestion has then created a learning for myself by practicing. On the other side, the playfulness, I've found has given a kind of vitality to the discipline. So in the playful mode and the playful expression, there's something free flowing and exploratory, and yeah. So in that mode of exploration, there's often discoveries made, and you learn things that you would otherwise not if you confined yourself too strictly. So and that's learning, discovering things, and part of the value of learning things that way through your own exploration and playfulness is that they have a different kind of meaning to you. There's a different level of ownership to those experiences, because you've come to them by yourself. But then the other side, the necessity of discipline and guidance and knowing when to listen. Otherwise, it's a kind of unformed playfulness. So to keep a practice alive with yourself needs a sort of vital impulse from the playfulness and the discipline to keep at it and to keep coming back. Yeah. So that's how it's been for me, and I think offering that kind of disposition is the one of the chief values that I hope to share, because it develops a level of self-authority and self-exploration that I want to cultivate with myself and others.
Wonderful, thank you, Dan. And just for clarification, are your services available virtually, as in online at this time, that you will hold a one-on-one with somebody online?
Yeah, virtually one-on-one, like this format. Unless geographically and politically we are allowed to meet each other in person, but that will have to be figured out.
Thank you, Dan. And looking forward to this journey unfolding, and all the best with innerFLOW, and may you have the benefit of play and discipline in your own life, your own practice, as well as those that you engage with through these services. So innerFLOW, in a nutshell, offers both individual and group holistic well-being services, personal growth and transformation. And we offer you, the individual or family or group of people that might be interested, a way to reconnect with yourself. And we're a team of dedicated, professional, experienced, qualified practitioners, coaches, therapists, counselors, energy healers, etc. And we're here to help grow the best you on this inner journey. As we all know, as within, so without. So thank you, Dan, once again. And we wish that the viewers have a beautiful experience with innerFLOW. We'd love your engagement, your feedback. Get in touch with us and let's start the dialogue.